Interest rates are one of two bullets in the Federal Reserve gun. Their fearless leader has been courageous enough to admit the potential for negative interest rates, while simultaneously suggesting a rate rise in December. It's all based on the fake data. Let's all hold our breath. Negative interest rates have been imposed in multiple locations around the world, and it's the next level of a destruction of savings and gives a much desired boost for a new monetary system. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Today we are going to discuss interest rates, getting into negative interest rates, and for those who don't know, this wouldn't be the first time that negative interest rates have been imposed because other countries around the world already have this in place. It's not a conspiracy theory, it's not fear-mongering, this is just a fact. So we're going to break it down. Now, I don't want to just read out some quotations for you. You can read the articles for yourself. What I want to do is connect the dots. That's what I try to do with all of these articles, all the government statistics, and the analysis. Connect the dots, putting the pieces together. Let's look at this. Fed would consider negative interest rates if the economy soured. This article is out of Reuters, talking about Janet Yellen and what she said on November 4th. The Federal Reserve would consider pushing interest rates below zero if the U.S. economy took a serious turn for the worse. Look at the quotes that she said here. Potentially anything, including negative interest rates, would be on the table, but we would have to study carefully how they would work here in a U.S. context. This hasn't been done, but it's not just the U.S. that has or will do this. It's going on all around the world. In fact, I'll show you some examples in a moment. This would happen if the economy were to deteriorate in a significant way. What I would suggest to you is that this deterioration has already occurred and is getting worse. She said, adding that she believed negative interest rates would have some at least modest favorable effect on banks' incentives to lend. Who are they going to lend to at this point? For those individuals who have the appropriate documentation, savings, and in the case of mortgages, they have that right down payment. These individuals are getting mortgages to buy homes, and that is happening legitimately, not at the rate that they want it to happen, but it is. So what's with their needing to have an incentive to lend more? Well, in fact, we're going to have more of this ninja type loans, no incomes, jobs, or assets, the interest only type mortgages, all of these other things that are nothing but a joke. But that's the way they want it, and we know the result of that. It's empty subdivisions. We have areas like Florida, which had a 20% vacancy rate at the worst point during the financial crisis. This goes to show you how serious they are about boosting a fake bubble. Now, let's turn the pages back in history, because that's what I love to do here at the Money GPS, and look back into 2010. Now, this was actually, at the time, San Francisco Federal Reserve Bank President Janet Yellen. So prior to her, heading up the Federal Reserve, she was actually the head of the San Francisco Fed. And right here, telling the University of San Diego's Business School this joke that the economy is going to grow at about 3.5% this year and 4.5% next year. So they're saying 2011, you're going to have 4.5% growth. Amazing. Now, not only did that not happen, but they even had to fake the numbers to get it anywhere near there. This is constant, what I keep reading here about all of these fake projections of these future estimations here. You can't make this stuff up. This is, at the time, a very high-level individual, even at that time, 2010, saying, look, we're going to have massive growth, 4.5%. Don't worry about it. Just put all your money to the stock market. Everything's okay. Even though the recession appears to be over, it does not mean that we are where we want to be. Even with my moderate, they said, growth forecast, the economy will be operating well below its potential for several years. 4.5, you think that's a lot? Just wait. 2015, 2016, we're going to have excellent growth. That's according to Janet Yellen. Of course, that never happened. And now they're suggesting negative interest rates. In fact, in this, what I wanted to get to was what they said here. This is Janet Yellen's quote. If it were positive to take interest rates into the negative territory, I would be voting for that. If they could do it into the negative, she would be voting for that. So fast forward into the present day. Here we are thinking about negative interest rates. You know they're going to go for it. Sure, they may actually bring interest rates up before they bring them back down again. And then you have real interest rates, which are actually making this situation much, much worse. These are the nominal interest rates. It's a bunch of baloney. But anyway, all I wanted to say was that what we have here is a situation that they are backed up against this wall. They've been printing money. They can't get the stock market to rise anymore. It's a little bit more political to bring the interest rates down. Nobody's going to notice that. The QE4 would get a lot more media attention, and they're going to avoid that, at least for the time being. But if they really want the stock market to rise, of course, they will engage in QE4. This is a chart showing you European nations, some of which have engaged in negative interest rates at this time. You have Denmark, Sweden, and Switzerland all engaging in the negative interest rates. And then you look at others who are right near the zero mark as well. Look at Poland and Romania, and you look at Czech Republic, Bulgaria, Albania, even the UK. All around a very, very low percentage. Historically, the world has never seen interest rates this low before. And what does that do to savings? It destroys them. What does that do to the individual? It destroys their wealth. They know that. This is the reason why you increase the amount of poverty basically, and you have more people dependent on the government. Well, what happens? The government can swell and swell and swell, and its powers can get greater and greater, and the people actually beg and plead for more dependence. It works so well. It's been working so well, and you can see all the soldiers for these governments, and I'm not talking about soldiers as in military. I'm talking about soldiers who are people, spokesmen, cheerleaders for their government, even though they're being raped by it every single day. This is a quotation from my book, quoting Murray N. Rothbard, a legend. Chapter on interest rates, I quoted him saying this: given the Federal Reserve System and its absolute power over the nation's money, the federal government since 1913 must bear the complete responsibility for any inflation. You go to the store, you buy your food. What happens? Every single year, over a year, things are getting more expensive. I've shown you the charts over and over again. In fact, I haven't shown you in a little while, but look at the prices of eggs, poultry, meats. Look at the prices of simple commodities, food commodities, individual commodities. I don't know about you, but every time I go to the store, things get more expensive, not more cheap. If you do live in an area where they're more cheap, please let me know, because I think a bunch of people need to move into there, but it's not happening. At least on average, globally, we're seeing more expensive things, but the quality of the produce isn't getting better, that's for sure. Mineral depletion and so on. We're having actually lower quality substances, lower quality products overall. Interest rates are at all-time lows. Ask around and see if you can find someone who remembers a time when interest rates were lower. Good luck. That's how I want to leave it for today. If you found this video informative, please give me a thumbs up. I want you to know that all of your comments, all of your thumbs up are really well received. I do appreciate it so much to see all this. I try to reply as many comments as I possibly can. Lately, I've only been able to get onto the current days or previous days video, and so if your comment is older, I may not be able to get to it. I do try to, at least I try to read them if I can't reply back. But then I reply back in these videos. So a lot of what I do is actually referencing different comments or different emails that I've received. So once again, hope you appreciate that. Last but not least, if you found the video informative, then you're definitely going to find my book, The Money GPS, even more informative. You can head over to Amazon. It has a look inside feature, which allows you to flip through the pages of the book and see if you like it. Take care.